Have you ever just felt completely swamped, by all the health information out there?
Oh, absolutely.
One day something's good for you, the next day maybe not so much. It's really noisy out there.
It really is hard to keep track.
Well, today on the deep dive, we're aiming to cut through that, cut right through the confusion. We want to bring you some really essential insights, and honestly, some surprising ones for me too. We're going to look at these natural compounds, things found in everyday foods you probably already have in your kitchen,
Exactly.
and explore how they can have a really profound impact on your well-being, especially, as we get older and think about healthy aging.
That's the key focus.
Our goal here is just to make the science, which can seem complex, really clear, practical, and hopefully a really interesting conversation for you.
Absolutely. And our specific focus today, the deep dive, is into this group of substances called flavonoids.
Flavonoids.
Uh,
Heard that term.
Yeah, you probably have. Think of them as, well, nature's own little powerhouses. They're compounds made only by plants. They
Yeah.
give a lot of fruits and vegetables, even some treats. They're bright colors.
So that's where the colors come from.
That's often them. But, it's not just about looking good. These compounds work behind the scenes. They offer a whole range of really powerful health-promoting effects.
Right.
So our mission really is to take the science speak, the jargon, and just make it genuinely understandable and useful. Useful for you listening right now.
Okay, let's unpack that then. Flavonoids. We hear it mentioned, like you said, especially around health stuff. But what are they? Like in simple terms.
Great place to start. So basically, flavonoids are this huge family of natural substances. They're the reason for those beautiful reds, blues, purples, yellows you see in fruits and flowers.
Okay, the color connection is helpful.
And the best part, you're likely eating them all the time without even thinking about it.
Really?
They're in so many common foods. Think colorful fruits like berries, oranges, lemons, also grain seeds, maybe that glass of red wine sometimes.
Red wine gets a mention.
It does, and herbs too, plus beverages like tea and, importantly, cocoa.
So they really are everywhere in the diet. Okay, but what do they do? What's the magic inside our bodies?
Right, the action. Well, their power, the reason they're so beneficial, boils down to two main things. First, they are potent antioxidants.
Antioxidants. We hear that word a lot too. What does it mean? Simply.
Okay, imagine your cells face these little damaging forces all day long. It's called oxidative stress, like tiny sparks, or maybe rust forming on metal. Over time, that causes wear and tear.
Okay, like cellular rust. Got it.
Exactly. Flavonoids act like little protectors. They neutralize those sparks, shield your cells from that damage.
Cell bodyguards. I like that. What's the second thing?
The second big one is that many are also really effective anti-inflammatory agents.
Inflammation. Like when you twist your ankle.
Sort of. That's acute inflammation. But there's also this chronic, low-level kind, like a constant, quiet irritation simmering inside your body.
Okay. And that's not good.
Not ideal long-term, no. It contributes to a lot of age-related health issues. Flavonoids help calm that down. They soothe that internal irritation, reduce swelling system-wide.
Yeah.
So those two things, protecting cells as antioxidants and calming inflammation, that's the foundation for nearly all their health benefits.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me and probably for many listening. Healthy aging.
Yeah.
Keeping our minds sharp. That's huge. How can these plant things help our brains stay resilient as we age?
Such a vital area, and flavonoids show, well, frankly, remarkable promise here. You see, as we age, it's natural for organs, including the brain, to undergo these progressive degenerative changes.
Just wear and tear, basically.
Essentially, yes, a gradual decline in optimal function. And that oxidative stress we mentioned, that cellular rust, it plays a big role in these age-related brain challenges.
So flavonoids step in as the anti-rust treatment for the brain. Do they help with actual memory, like remembering names or where you put your keys?
They really seem to. Research consistently points towards flavonoids improving memory, learning, and just general cognitive sharpness.
Any examples?
Yeah, for instance, there were studies with rats. Giving them blueberry supplements actually reduced the time it took them to find a hidden platform in a maze, a classic memory test.
So blueberries help the rats remember better.
Made their recall faster, more accurate. And get this, it's not just complex animals.
Oh.
A specific flavonoid from cocoa called epicatechin. It's been shown to boost memory and make memory stickier, less likely to be forgotten, even in a simple pond snail.
A pond snail. Seriously.
Seriously, which is fascinating. It suggests these compounds work on really fundamental basic memory processes shared across different forms of life, like a universal biological language for cell health.
That's kind of mind-blowing. A snail. Okay, what about other senses? Hearing often declines with age too. Anything there?
Spot on. Age-related hearing loss, or ARHL, is very common, and guess what? Those cocoa polyphenols, the flavonoids in cocoa,
Yes.
they've been shown to specifically reduce that oxidative stress, that rusting, in the very delicate cells of our hearing system.
So they protect the ear cells.
That's what the evidence suggests. Since that cell damage is a major cause of ARHL, regularly consuming cocoa polyphenols might offer some real protection for our hearing as we get older,
Yeah.
helping preserve that vital sense.
Incredible. Protecting hearing with something from cocoa. Now, for the really serious brain concerns, things like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
is there any potential help from flavonoids there?
There is hope, yes. It's a very active area of research. Flavonoids are being studied intensively for their potential to, well, maybe prevent or at least slow down diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's.
It's the same mechanism.
Largely, yes. Again, it comes back to reducing that damaging oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. Both are really harmful to brain cells, so flavonoids help create a healthier environment up there.
Makes sense. Are there challenges getting them into the brain?
Yes. That's been a hurdle. The brain has this protective shield, the blood-brain barrier. Think of it like a very strict bouncer at a club.
Uh-huh. Okay. Doesn't let just anything in.
Exactly. But researchers are clever. They're developing new techniques like nanoencapsulation.
Now what?
Nanoencapsulation, tiny, tiny delivery packages. Imagine microscopic Trojan horses carrying the good stuff, the flavonoids, past the bouncer and right into the brain where they're needed.
Wow, science fiction stuff.
Getting there, it opens up exciting possibilities.
Okay, moving beyond the brain and senses. What about everyday health worries? Things like blood sugar, diabetes, weight management, stuff lots of people deal with.
Absolutely crucial areas. And yes, flavonoids play a role here too. Take diabetes, it's a huge global issue.
Huge.
Flavonoids can help manage it. For instance, they can help lower high blood sugar levels. One way is by slowing down how quickly your gut digests carbohydrates, like putting a gentle brake on sugar absorption.
So fewer sugar spikes after meals.
Precisely. And they also show real promise in easing some serious long-term diabetes complications. Things like diabetic retinopathy, that's eye damage.
Right, vision problems.
Yes. And diabetic nephropathy, kidney damage. For example, there's a mix of flavonoids from milk thistle called silymarin. Clinical trials showed it improved blood sugar control and reduced kidney problems in diabetic patients.
So real results in people, not just lab studies.
Exactly, real-world impact.
Okay, that's very encouraging. Now, weight management. Can they really help us burn calories? How does that work?
Yes. This is fascinating. Flavonoids can influence how our bodies handle energy. They can activate something called brown adipose tissue, BAT for short.
Brown fat? I thought fat was white.
Most of it is white fat, yeah, which mostly stores calories. But brown fat is different. It's like your body's own internal furnace.
Furnace, yes.
Yeah. Instead of storing calories, it burns them to generate heat. It's metabolically active, good fat.
Okay, and flavonoids.
Research shows cocoa flavanols, especially that epictetin compound again, can boost the activity of key proteins needed for brown fat to work, like a protein called UCP1.
UCP1.
Think of UCP1 as the little switches or thermostats inside the brown fat cells that tell them to start burning fuel and warming you up.
So flavonoids flip the burn switch on this brown fat.
In essence, yes. They encourage your body to burn calories more efficiently as heat, rather than just storing them. It's a subtle boost, but potentially significant for managing weight over time.
It really does seem like these flavonoids are beneficial almost everywhere. What about the heart? Our cardiovascular health, and something many worry about as they age bone strength.
You're right, the reach is incredibly broad. It touches almost everything related to aging well. Let's talk heart health first. Flavonoids are known to improve endothelial function.
Endothelial function.
Sounds technical.
It just means the health of the inner lining of your blood vessels. Think of it as keeping your internal pipes smooth and clear, crucial for good blood flow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like healthy plumbing. Exactly. And specific flavonoids, like those in cocoa, especially the dark stuff, high percentage cocoa.
Dark chocolate. Good news for some.
Definitely. It's consistently linked to lower blood pressure and better cholesterol levels. Healthier arteries, basically.
Good.
They can also affect platelet function, how blood clots. They might help reduce the risk of unwanted clots forming.
And I heard something about actual blood vessel repair. That sounds amazing.
It really is fascinating. It speaks to how deep these effects go. Regular cocoa intake, particularly when it's dark chocolate enriched with something healthy like extra virgin olive oil,
Okay.
has actually been shown to increase the number of these special cells called circulating endothelial progenitor cells, EPCs.
EPCs, what are they?
Think of them as your body's mobile repair crew for blood vessels.
A repair crew.
Yeah. They circulate around, find damaged spots in your blood vessel lining, and fix them up. Keep the whole system healthy. So cocoa might actually help boost this natural repair process. Active regeneration, not just prevention.
That is remarkable. An internal maintenance team. Okay, what about bones? Bone density, osteoporosis risk, a big concern for many older adults.
Yes, and this is another exciting area often overlooked. There's a compound in cocoa and also in tea called theobromine.
Theobromine.
Research, mainly in animal studies so far, suggests theobromine can actually stimulate your bone marrow mesenchymal stem cells.
Stem cells in bone marrow.
Exactly. These are like the master builder cells for bone, the original blueprint cells. Theobromine seems to encourage these stem cells to work harder to build larger, stronger bone structures.
So it's not just slowing bone loss, it's potentially helping build new bone through stem cells.
That's the really exciting implication, a direct link to stimulating those fundamental bone-building cells. This could be huge for maintaining strong bones and fighting conditions like osteoporosis. It's about supporting the body's own construction crew.
Wow. Stem cell activity boosted by something in cocoa and tea. Okay, after hearing all this,
Yeah.
I mean, brain, hearing, blood sugar, weight, heart, vessel repair, bones. The big question is, how do we get more of this goodness easily? Where are these flavonoids hiding in plain sight?
That's the best part. They're in so many delicious, common foods. You don't need a massive diet overhaul. Just focus on including more of these.
Okay, list them out for us.
Right. Number 1, cocoa and dark chocolate. Big source of flavanols. Aim for dark chocolate, like 70% cocoa or higher.
The darker the better.
Generally, yes, for flavonoid content. And interestingly, even cocoa bean shells, usually waste, have beneficial stuff and are being looked at for new uses.
Okay, what else?
Tea. Green tea, black tea, both are loaded with catechins and other good compounds. That daily cuppa is doing more than you think.
Nice and simple.
Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, all those vibrant colors, packed with anthocyanins and other flavonoids. Nature's candy, really.
Love berries. Keep going.
Citrus fruits, apples, onions, everyday staples, right? Full of different flavonoids like naringenin, quercetin, asparagine.
Yeah.
That apple a day probably has some truth to it flavonoid-wise.
Good old apples and onions.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
And yeah, don't forget red wine in moderation and various nuts. They also contribute valuable polyphenols. A handful of almonds, maybe a small glass of red with dinner. It all adds up.
That list feels very doable. Lots of familiar foods. But does our body actually absorb all these compounds well? Does it matter how we eat them?
Excellent question. It's not just about what you eat, but what your body can use. Absorption or bioavailability does vary.
So it's tricky.
It can be. It depends on the specific flavonoid, what else you eat with it. Sometimes eating them with a bit of healthy fat helps, for example. The food matrix matters.
Okay.
But researchers are working on this. And remember that nano-encapsulation we talked about for the brain?
The tiny delivery packages.
Exactly. Similar ideas are being explored to improve absorption in general, creating smarter ways to deliver these compounds so your body gets the maximum benefit. The science is always moving forward.
Well, that feels like a mission accomplished for today, I think. If we wanted to give you, our listener, a real shortcut to understanding something vital for your health, this is it. You now have a much clearer picture of flavonoids, these amazing natural compounds in everyday plants, offering benefits across the board for healthy aging brain, hearing, bones, heart, metabolism. It's really empowering stuff.
It really is, and maybe it leaves you with a thought to ponder.
Go on.
How might really grasping the power packed into these simple plants, knowing they can influence things as fundamental as your stem cells, your cellular repair crews, how might that change how you look at your plate each day?
Thinking differently about food choices.
Yeah. What impact could those choices have on your long-term health, your energy, just your overall quality of life as you age? And, what other hidden gems, these nuggets of wisdom, are still waiting in the foods around us?
That is a fantastic thought to chew on, definitely. We really hope this deep dive encourages you to keep exploring, keep learning, and continue your journey towards a well-informed, vibrant life.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious.